Hello, everyone. In today's video, we'll be conducting a World Series based on a recently completed sim auction that involved the players from the 1941 Pittsburgh Pirates, the 1991 Minnesota Twins, and the 2013 Cincinnati Reds. So, since I totally forgot to hit record on the auction video, I'm just going to give you a quick little preview of these teams, and then we'll get into the actual season simulations. So our first team, the 49 Pirates, not a great team. They only won 71 games that year. The big deal with this team is actually the fact that it contains the best season in the career of Hall of Famer Ralph Kiner. So Kiner walloped 54 home runs that year. He led MLB in that category. And then additionally, he led also in RBIs, slugging, and OPS. Interestingly, Kiner missed 2 years to military service, and he also retired at a very young age. He was only 32 when he retired. So, despite missing those years, and despite retiring at 32, actually with a very productive season, his OPS that year was 818. So you have to assume that he probably had a few good years left in him. When you take all that into account, it's not inconceivable that he would have ended up with 500 home runs. As it is, he ended up with 369 home runs. So just a terrific Hall of Famer that sometimes doesn't get the credit that I think he's due when you talk about the great power hitters in baseball history. Our next team, the 1991 Minnesota Twins, I would consider them a legitimate great team. They won 95 games. And then they won a thrilling World Series against the Braves, 4 games to 3. Overall, the team was very balanced. They were second in the American League in OPS and also second in ERA. On the hitting side, they were led by Ken Herbeck, Hall of Famer Kirby Puckett, and another very underrated hitter, Chili Davis, who had some really, really good years. While on the pitching side, they were led by Hall of Famer Jack Morris, Scott Erickson, who put together his best year that year, and Kevin Topani. And then our last team, the 2013 Cincinnati Reds, were a good team, winning 90 games, finishing third in the NL Central. They were fourth in OPS and fifth in ERA in the National League that year. So they were a good team, just a notch below the top teams, though. They were led by possible future Hall of Famer Joey Votto. And then they also received some excellent seasons from Shin-So Choo and Homer Bailey on the pitching side and Aroldis Chapman on the relief side. So, again, really good team, just not a great team. So, as you know, in a sim auction version of the World Series, what we do is we simulate entire seasons with these newly created teams. So we've determined by doing a bunch of these that really that's what determines the best team. So you can't really do a 4 out of 7 like a traditional World Series. That doesn't really tell you much because of the randomness involved. But a full season and then multiple seasons pretty much tells you who the best team is. So for that endeavor, we use the APBA computer game to conduct the simulations. And again, like I said, in our version of the World Series, the team that wins 4 seasons, not games, seasons, wins the World Series. So before we dive into the simulations, let's take a look at the teams that we actually created during the sim auction. All right, Anthony, let's start with you. Let me just expand the screen a little bit here. I know we do this always at the end of the auction, but it's always a good idea to do it at the beginning of the simulations as well. What do you think? What do you think on your hitting side?
Uh, Pretty solid, but more of a balanced approach. And both guys are pretty high on base at the top with Votto and Chu.
Yep, definitely. That Dino Rastelli, I thought that was a sneaky good buy from you as well. He's got some good numbers too.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, I like that buy too. I thought you got Knobloch at a pretty decent price as well. What else? And you know what? You didn't overpay for Votto or Chu. You got him at a pretty fair price.
Yeah, definitely got Votto for cheaper than I thought he'd go for.
Yeah, yeah. So those were two good purchases. That definitely a good foundation for the team. The thing that I think is a little bit of a drawback from those two guys is right here, though. The platoon factor
Hmm.
on lefties. The good thing is there wasn't a ton of lefties in this auction, so that is minimized a little bit. There's been some auctions we've done in the past where there was a lot more lefty exposure, and we didn't have that much of the lefty exposure in this particular auction. So that's good. Let's see. Let's move over to your pitching a little bit. So what do you think? I like your top two for sure.
Yeah, definitely solid top three with kind of pitching quality we had, and then pretty good 1-2 punch out of the bullpen as well with Chapman and Willis.
Correct. Yeah. So definitely those five guys are good. The it gets a little thinner after that, but if you can get some good production out of Morris, Bailey, Arroyo, and your two closers, that'll be nice. Yeah. And it's interesting in the simulation when I was doing the season simulations, Buck Miller too was actually choosing Carl Willis to be your closer, and the reason for that is simple. So Chapman is a grade 17, but he's got that W, which means he walks a lot of guys.
Hmm.
So when you factor that W in, it probably knocks down that grade 17 to about a grade 15 or so. Now, with Willis, he starts out at a 15, but then to that, you add the Z, which means he minimizes walks. So he's on the totally opposite end of the spectrum from Chapman. Chapman gives up more walks than average. Willis doesn't is below average in terms of walks. So that bumps up his grade. And then the G minimizes home runs. So that adds another little bump to his grade. So when you factor all that in, I would say Willis's grade is probably like 16 and a half, maybe somewhere around that area, where Chapman might be closer to a 15. So I love the fact that Buck Miller did all those calculations behind the scenes and actually picked Willis as your closer because that
Hmm.
actually helped your team.
Yeah, and kind of saves Chapman too to kind of be like a really high end lefty specialist
High
too.
end, yep, high end setup guy, exactly. Yeah, so that worked out nicely for you. All right, good. So that covers your team. Definitely a balanced team. Let's go over to Steve. So Steve, obviously a ton of hitting, right?
Yeah. I mean, kind of went one off the board, and while he wasn't part of my game plan, he was mine. So
Yeah,
I would have liked to have gotten a 14 to $15 extra hitter,
yeah,
and then gotten a stud, a decent pitcher, but that just didn't come into play.
yeah.
So
Do you think if you had gotten, because let me just see, you got Kiner as the first one, and then you got Bruce, so you followed it up with two hitters in a row.
yep.
Do you think if you had gotten a pitcher like in that 2-3 slot that would have changed your direction completely?
Um,
Or
no,
once you got Kiner, you
once I
said
got Kiner, I completely threw it
I'm
out the window because I
I'm
didn't want to allocate $50 to one hitter. Um, I would have gotten two decent pitchers,
yeah,
really was what I was thinking of. And again, maybe I miscalculated. I thought Kiner would go for a little bit more than 49. And when it kind of stopped, I'm like, okay, well, now I got to do something else. And I didn't think there were enough great hitters where if I just went all in on hitting, I could take advantage of that.
yeah,
So.
yeah. No, that's and you know we talked about it during the auction. I thought Kiner was also going to go in the 50s, and honestly, if you had not bid 49, I would have been perfectly happy with him at 48 because I said to myself, if I get him somewhere in like, and probably 48 was as high as I was going to go,
Yeah,
obviously because you got him at 49,
right.
but I thought he was going to go into the 50s, so I thought, all right, if I get him like 48, 47,
Yeah.
I'll grab him
Yep.
because I'm assuming he's going to go into the 50s.
Yeah.
But then when you said 49, I was like, all right, let me
Yeah.
back off. Yeah.
I figured 52, like
Yeah.
again, I just um so it was just a matter of I
Yeah.
got him, and I'm not upset I got him, but it
No,
changed my game plan.
Yeah, he's the best
So,
hitter.
yeah.
Yeah. And Anthony didn't want anything to do with Kiner because I
No.
didn't hear a peep out of Anthony for Kiner.
Yeah, I didn't even think you. I maybe thought he stepped away. It's like it was just you and I going back and forth. I'm like, okay.
Well,
But unfortunately, I paid for it on the pitching side.
yeah. And strategically, I opened Kiner. I tried to do one of your plays, Steve. I opened Kiner up at 45.
I thought it was a good spot to start because I'm like, oh, like okay, well, that I'm kind of like I was hesitant to say anything because I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, that's fine. Like I get it.
Yeah. Because
Yeah,
I would have been, I figured, well, you know what? Let me just try this. And if I get Kiner at 45, I'm good.
right.
But
Yeah, like I thought that was just slightly too much of a bargain to let you sit on.
yeah. And
And I
it's
think
funny. It's funny because I thought of opening him up at 47. I wonder
I
what
wouldn't
would
have
have.
touched it.
There you go.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. And that's the thing. You got to pick the right spot because if
yeah,
you're going to give your opponent, especially in this 3-man format,
yeah,
where it's a little bit of a chess game,
yeah.
you're going to give up some profit. The question is, how much do you want to give your opponent?
Right.
45? No.
Yeah,
47? Okay.
yeah. You
Yeah.
said 47. I would have been like, yeah, I'm
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. Yeah. And I at the last minute I said, you know what? Let me try a few less here. And
Yeah,
it
yeah,
didn't work. But yep.
yeah. It worked.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Let's see. And then from a platoon exposure, it's only Bruce, I think, that only potentially Massaraco, but he's a righty.
Yeah,
Uh,
and I split them up anyway.
yeah. Yeah.
So
So the only real exposure a little bit is Bruce, and he's only a 3.
yeah,
He's not a 5. So okay. All right. And then we go to the other side of things.
yeah,
One thing I wanted to add, Steve, is when I did the Sims, so I thought you kind of wasted $11. 7 on Castiglione
yes,
and 4 on Cruz. Because
yes.
they did not get that many at bats. You didn't use them that much. And those $11, you could have probably snagged something with pitching.
Well, I wanted Cruz for $1, and because he was an extra hitter, but he had all that speed.
Right,
So
right.
I was thinking for just a bench guy. It's the only reason why I want him, and I decided I would do $2.
And
So
then I
that
did 3.
and you did 3, which is the only reason why I didn't get him. I'm like, I'll go one more dollar. So really, I lost $1 there,
Right,
or
right.
2 because of the 3.
Yeah,
And my plan was to get Castiglione. I wanted more speed on the
yeah,
pass, and Castiglione kind of covered a couple of platooning for me. That was the only reason why I ended up getting Cruz too. But Cruz should only been $1 or 2, and
yeah. And honestly, the reason I went 3 for Cruz is because I could have used them.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, and it made sense for you to go to 4 because that speed would have helped my team considerably.
And I also I think I had the 2. Well, I think my catcher, O'Hannigan, I think had the best arm.
Yeah,
With a 6, I think it was right.
correct. The
So
6. Yeah, you got so
yeah,
yeah, yeah. So half of your catching is you got the arm, so it'd be nice to have the speed.
right.
Yeah. But yeah, so that I mean that Cruz made sense, but it's just that when I did the Sims, you didn't get a ton of at bats out of those $11.
Yeah, and Castiglione, I would have I wasn't gonna get, but I needed more. I felt like in the moment I needed more coverage, infield wise, and I
Yeah,
think Castiglione played the outfield, so I had an
yeah.
extra backup with who's my backup first baseman? Oh, I didn't have Fleming yet.
I think Larkin backed up
Oh,
first
Larkin.
base.
It was
Yeah,
Larkin. Yeah, it was
yeah,
Larkin. So I
yeah,
had that other batter who could cover Urbeck, and then I would have a little bit of coverage in the outfield.
yeah. So, but again, good. Obviously, really good hitting.
Yeah,
Um, and
pitching
then
not so much.
yeah, I mean the pitching. It's you got some of those extra pitchers, and you got those W's that are going to hurt you.
Yeah,
Singrani, not bad from a grade perspective,
for 21
but
bucks too. By the way, I thought was probably better than we've seen. I know it's on 100 innings, but it's probably better
yeah,
than we've seen in most drafts.
yeah, yeah. So, and then you got Simon, and then
Yep,
because you had money at the end, you were able to pick up also
yeah,
Hoover and
yep,
LeCure. So
yep,
the relief is not the issue. The
nope,
issue is how much damage
yeah,
are the starters going to do before you can hand it over to the relief.
yeah.
So, All right.
But into my end, I'm thinking if I have most of the better hitters, because I think both you and Anthony's team have less strong hitting than you normally do.
Right.
Um, I felt like there'd be less of an issue if I can compete with that, hitting wise.
You're you're absolutely right. I think the thought process is on point.
See if I don't know if it'll work out, but
The thought process I think is good. The only issue I think is that the bad guys that you got are
are
really bad.
bad. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
So in other words, they're not bad, they're
No, they're
really bad.
really bad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because of those W's.
Yep.
Yeah. But you're right. If you can get guys that are not going to kill you, because Michael did it in the last auction.
Yep. Exactly.
The last three guys on his pitching staff were like 6, 7. I think he had a 5, but they didn't have W's.
Nope.
In your case, you're kind of in that 3 territory, but with W's, which really
Yeah, it
hurts.
makes it much worse
Yeah.
for sure.
All right. And then on my team, so hitting wise, obviously, I got some opportunities, especially in the back end with shortstop and third base. But I was happy to get, at least 3 good hitters in Harper, Mack, and Puckett.
Yep.
And then I actually did piece it together a little bit, because if you look at Munoz, for example, 827.
Yep.
Paul, 741.
Yep.
Stevens, 703. Phillips, 724. So I have some guys that that are over 700 in addition to those top 3. So all those things come into play. Enzo Hernandez was kind of like he was going to be my tandem with Julio Cruz.
Yeah.
Because if you look at Hernandez, he stole 37 bases
Yep.
at a very successful rate. So definitely, it was good that you blocked me from Cruz, because that would have made the team even better, I think. And then remember these hitters now for 81 games, Steve, they're going to be going against your pitching.
Garbage pitching, right?
So that's going to bump them up a little bit. Not so much against Anthony's team, but against your team.
Yeah.
These guys get bumped up a little bit because they're
Yeah.
going to be going against not great pitchers. And then on the pitching side, and actually what I did is, in the original email I sent you guys, I said I was going to go in with a 4-man rotation. I decided to kind of do what you guys did and go with a 5, because I thought, you know what? I have 5 good starters. I'm just going to go with 5 and then just make one guy into the bullpen. So I actually put Chambers in my rotation. So my rotation is going to be Tapani, Leak, Erickson. I'm sorry, Tapani, Latos, Erickson, Leak, and Chambers. And then I'm going to have
Lombardi.
Now Lombardi. Lombardi's on the bench. So I'm going to have a 5-man. I think that's going to be better for this team. And then I'll have 4 guys in relief. And then Dixon will be the long man, and he'll probably start a few games as well. But that's going to allow me to pretty much have a good pitcher out there all the time. So it's interesting, you guys, because here's the thing. Did I set out to spend $200 on pitching? No, I did not. It's just that what happened was the bidding on Dixon stopped lower than I thought it would, especially after so keep in mind, I already had Tapani, I already had Latos, I already had Erickson. So my assumption is, you guys, now I've taken a lot of the supply out of the mix. I'm thinking you guys are not going to stop. Well, guess what? You stopped at 29 on Dixon, so I own Dixon.
And I don't remember where I was in that sequence, but I thought to myself in that moment, I'm like, you're gonna waste $30 on Dixon here. And for
Okay.
me, just to lose one pitcher isn't gonna make a difference on my team.
Okay.
At that moment, like it was only pick 20 or so, 19,
yeah, pick 16. Yeah.
But it was like, oh, you're 4 pitchers, you're gonna waste $30 here. I can use that to my advantage somewhere else. Clearly, It wasn't in pitching, but
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
that's why I stopped. Like I'm like, you know what? If you want him that badly for 12, I mean it's 220 innings, that certainly would have helped me, but
yeah.
not at 30
But
bucks, you know.
no, it's and it's funny because that's kind of happened to you before in some other auctions where you've
Yes.
gone pitcher, 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 and now you're
Yep.
like, oh, okay, let me pull back now.
Yeah. And then I have to
So
sit and wait. Yeah.
right. So I totally get that. Anthony, I'm curious, did you have any interest in Dixon at all? Because I think you were bidding on him at some point.
Yeah, I had a similar thought process to Steve there. Just,
Okay.
Make Andy spend.
yeah, I figured at that point, just
Yeah.
have you stack on pitching and kind of hurt you on the offensive end.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. And then here's where I had to like, you know, what's that what's that bridge that Caesar burned, the Rubicon?
Yes.
So this is Mike Leake is basically my Rubicon because now pick 19, I'm at $20 on Leake, and I thought you guys were gonna go higher. And again, nope, you don't go higher. So I'm like, all right, my path is clear here. I gotta go. You know,
You got to embrace it at that point.
I gotta just go with pitching and see what happens here.
Yep.
And then it just continued because then pick 25, Chambers came up. Again, I thought you guys were going to go higher than 17. You didn't. And even Aguilera, I actually would have wanted Willis instead of Aguilera, and I was bidding him up, and I got really stuck at 14 because I would have preferred Willis. But fine, Aguilera was the highest graded closer, so I was okay with it. But anyway, the idea is I didn't intend to spend 200 on pitching. My salvation is that I was still able to get 3 pretty good hitters.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I didn't look at it, Steve. I didn't get a chance before I logged on, but you basically spent over $200 in that '09 Tigers auction, right?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. It was a little over 200.
Yeah, but the problem there is you didn't get a single good hitter.
No, no, I did not.
Yeah.
Which I
So
knew
in other
going
words,
in was going to happen,
right.
you know,
Right.
but yeah.
So here I spent almost as much as you did, but I was able to get a few good hitters. And I think that, that's what makes a big difference.
What did it end up with, like 220 or something? I
I'm
don't
gonna look.
remember.
You know what? Now it's piqued my interest. Now I'm gonna look.
Um,
I'm gonna look right now, or unless you have it handy. Let me see.
it was Minnesota, St. Louis, and Detroit, right?
Yeah, Detroit. I remember it starts out with the 1909 Tigers. So I always remember who we start out with.
48, 90, 135, 165, 67, 68. See, I got like 190.
Okay, maybe it
I
was
thought it was
190.
more than that.
Yeah, I thought you crossed 200 there. Hold on, let me.
Eh,
For some reason, I thought you crossed 200. Let me see.
am I looking at the right? Was that the one with Drysdale?
No, it's the
No.
one we did July 12th.
Oh, I'm in the wrong. I'm in the wrong.
Hold on, I'm gonna pull it up right now. Let me see. Yeah, 230, 234.
230. Okay, I was looking at the wrong draft. Yeah, I 220 something was coming to mind, but yeah.
Yeah, you spent a whopping $26 on hitting.
Yeah, but at that point, I had to be all in, right? I mean,
Right, right,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah. So, but yeah, that was the thing there. You didn't get it. You needed at least one good hitter there, I think.
Yeah.
All right. So, all right, let's see if we can get into these sims. We've pretty much analyzed these teams every way we can. All right, let me shut that. Let me make sure I didn't mess up anything. You guys, can you still see the spreadsheet?
Yes.
Okay, good. All right. So let me just minimize that. All right. Let me make sure I have everything 0-0 here. All right. Yep. 0-0. Here we go. Now with 3 teams, it goes pretty fast. So I might for most of it just keep it in the standings because 3 instead of 5, it just kind of blows right through it. So here we go. Yeah, I can't even keep up with it. So we'll just keep it right there. Let's see.
And I forget you're right, just from a competitive standpoint, you're only looking at, 81 games versus you and 81 games, and that's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
It's not
Yeah.
like it's, split up more against a
Yeah.
stronger or weaker team.
Yep. So basically you can feast a little bit on
Yeah,
if you have an advantage in a certain category, you can feast on it.
for sure.
All right, still very early. My team's off to a good start. 34 wins. Anthony is 9 back. You're 12 back. And also with 3 teams, I noticed the standings can change dramatically in an instant. So Anthony's 6 back now. Steve, you're 19. Anthony 10 out now. Anthony's at 8.5. Anthony's at 6 with 110 games in, 111 games in. Still at 6. We have a magic number now, though. Now it's 2, magic number of 30. 3 games out. Anthony's right on my heels there. Magic number of 20. 5, magic number of 7. Let's just let it play out. And we do have at least 1 rain out. Let's see. And it is actually Anthony against Steve. Steve wins it. Final tally is all right.
Oof.
Yep. Yeah, that pitching Steve just
No bueno.
Yeah, it's just like I said, it's the difference between bad and really bad.
Yep.
All right, let me just jot this info down. And we'll usually look at the last season. We might be able to sneak in. You know what? We'll take a look at this season. Just want to record it and then we'll look at it. We'll look at the first and the last. All right. Let me record this. All right, season 1 is saved on the spreadsheet. Let me go into that other module and save it there, and then we'll take a look at it as well. I would say this auction, Steve,
Yes.
is the one where I ended up with like more players than I never thought I would get. Like, so there, a lot of times I have an idea of what I might get or won't get.
Yeah.
In this one, again, it was like, wow, I didn't think I was going to get that guy,
Yeah.
or I didn't want that guy.
Yeah.
All right, I got it saved. Let me just pull it back up again so I can share the screen with you guys in this module here.
Wow, Rick Aguilera did a really good job coming in first alphabetically.
And Aguilera, it's funny, for a guy that I did not want,
Yeah.
he was actually instrumental in the success of the teams. 35 saves, 77 innings.
Oof.
So you can see that up at the top, it's mostly my guys. Obviously, for this season, it might be different in another season. And then you got Anthony's team with surprisingly, okay, I see Worley. This is rated by innings. I see. Okay. I thought I had sorted it by ERA, but so let's see a couple of your guys, Steve. So
Yeah, I saw it already. It's
yeah,
not good. Oh,
yeah.
Singrani wasn't bad. Singrani wasn't bad.
No, your ace was good. You got
Yeah.
120 innings out of him.
That's
Yeah. Simon was great, 234 ERA.
Yep.
There's what I was talking about with Willis, Anthony. Look at those numbers from Willis.
Yeah, you've really overperformed.
Yeah. 35 saves, 156 ERA. Yeah. All right, so that covers the pitching side. And let's see, the qualitative stuff will sorted by OPS. Keep doing that. All right, so on the OPS side, obviously Lenny Webster doesn't really count because he only had 45 at bats. But still, it's possible that he might have been used as a DH or a pinch hitter, and those are pretty awesome at bats. Kiner, no surprise, 1035 OPS. Westlake did nicely as well. So you got the hitting.
Yep.
There's Rastelli, Anthony,
Mhm.
868.
I wanted Rastelli, and I
Yeah.
just I had too many outfielders.
Yep. Yeah,
Yeah.
I could have definitely used Rastelli. Yeah.
Yeah, he was somebody I wanted that mid draft, but
Yeah. Um, and then a couple of my guys. I mean, again, I had the pitching, so I didn't need a ton of hitting. I needed a couple of guys to come through. So Harper came through nicely. So did Mac. Where's Kirby? So Kirby a little bit under 800, but still 784 is very usable. And then a couple of guys after that, Massey, Bachman. So again, when you have good hitting, you don't have to. And even look at this, Steve Lillis, one of the extra guys.
yep,
For 80 games, he's going up against your pitching.
yep.
And it bumps this guy up to a seven. I know it's only one season, but still, to get
It's
a
certainly
seven,
yep,
to get a 700 OPS out of an extra hitter is will help you big time.
for sure.
All right, so that's the qualitative stuff. The quantitative. Wow, Kiner, geez, 54 in real life, 62 home runs, 31 from Westlake, Chile 30. Yeah, the hitting was not the issue.
Nope.
Votto and Chu were nice. Puckett got 22 for me. And then on the stolen base side, this is why I wish I could find a sim manager that just would be going straightly off percentages. This drives me nuts. So Mac, like, why would
That's a
you?
lot of that's a lot of catching getting stolen. Yeah.
I mean, why would you run the guy when
Yeah.
he's getting nailed 19 times? And then Hernandez, let me see how he did because he was still not great, 45 and 29. So I think a lot of that had to do with your catcher though,
I'm sure that helped.
with that six. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so this is the summary, which is always a very instructive page. Let's see on the hitting side. Um, again, now I didn't have the best hitting. I think the best hitting was you, Steve, but it was good enough.
Yeah.
And then when you look at the pitching, there's a 0.79 differential between my team and Anthony's team.
It's a huge delta.
And then yours is, almost pushing 5.
Even bigger.
Yeah. So that will do it.
Yeah.
And then on the defense side, a lot of times defense is a big difference maker. But I think in this particular sim, everybody had pretty good defense. So that
Yeah.
delta is not as big as it is in some other auctions.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then the last screen, you guys, is the head-to-head. So when doing the test sims, what I noticed is that there were times where Anthony's team actually beat my team head-to-head, but my team will always actually perform pretty well against your team, Steve, again, because of that pitching.
Yeah.
So that gives you a little bit of an indication there. All right. So that covers season 1. Let's go and erase some stats and do season 2. All right. Just confirming you can see the APBA screen?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Awesome. All right, guys, let me erase season 1 and we will get into season 2. All right, here we go. All right, these sims are flying by. Early going here. My team with a slim lead. Steve's in second, Anthony's in third. My team has opened up a lead, but again, this can change quickly when you're playing 81 games against each opponent. So right now it's at 12 and a half. Holding at 12, Steve and Anthony. Holding steady right now. Steve's 13 out, Anthony's 15 out. Still steady, 11 and 13 now with 76 games played. Building it up. Things seem to be clicking for my team in this one. Up to 18. $21 and 30. Holding steady after 117 games. Magic number now. All right, let's just let it play out.
Clinched pretty early.
Yeah. So this one might turn out to be a 100-win season.
Oh, I think you're gonna do 107.
Yeah. Close. Yeah.
Close.
10,
Right in the
103.
middle.
Yeah. All right. Let me log this info. So everything seemed to be working there. All right. This is saved. Let me go into the other module. All right. I think I have that saved. Let me double check to make sure I didn't mess up anything. Pitching, quality hitting, quantity hitting, and the summary. Okay. All right. So all that is good. Let's go back to our league manager screen and wipe out these stats. All right. Season 2 is erased, and we are moving now to season number 3. Here we go. All right, let's take a look at the early going here. Anthony is up at the front there, 12 and 10, still very early. Steve half out, and I'm 2.5 out.
I'm over 500.
Yes, you are. Anthony's still in the lead, but my team and Steve's team are right there chasing him.
For now.
Exactly.
Oh,
Anthony still in the lead. We're still right there, making him uncomfortable. Uh-oh, I jump in the lead, but only by 1. Steve, you're falling behind a little bit. All right, 4-game lead now for me after 87 games. But again, it changes dramatically with only 3 people. 1.5-game lead. Anthony jumps into the lead now. See what I mean? By 6.5 games, just like that. And I think it's pretty much over now. Magic number of 20. Magic number of 8. And we'll let her run out. Looks like Anthony's got season 3 all packed away. I made it a little bit closer. Nicely done,
that.
Anthony. Yep. Let me see if there's any rainouts. Oops. Maybe 1. Okay. All right. So the final record for season 3 Anthony wins by a comfortable 9 games. Nicely done.
Yeah, I think once I started to pull away too, it looked like it was a lot of one-run games. That
Yeah.
record jumped up a lot during that stretch.
Yep. And again, when I was doing the Sims, I was looking at it and it was like a seesaw. You could have a 10-game lead and before you know it, you're down by 3 games. All right. So you have 93. I'm at 84. And Steve 66. All right. Let's highlight that. One-run games. Yeah, you were 31 and 19 with one-run games.
Yeah, and before like that stretch where I jumped in the lead, I think it was like 12 and 15. This
Yeah.
I don't know.
Wow.
Run there
Okay,
at the back of the bullpen.
so that's a
that
nice.
bullpen. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Because 31 and 19, I'm 27 and 29. Steve's 19 and 29. So you definitely won the close games. Nicely done. All right. So season 2 is saved on the spreadsheet. Let me go into that other module and save that, and then we'll come back for season 4. Perfect. That looks good. All right. Let me shut that module and go back to our league manager. All right. Let's erase these stats. All right. Here we go. Season 4. Take a look at the early going here. All right, so my team has a slim lead. Anthony jumps into the lead, kind of like the last season, by half a game. Steve's only 5 out, 5.5 out. My team now ties it. Steve's only 6 out, 56 games played. Anthony, 1.5 game lead over me. I jump back in front by half a game. Seesaw. 2-game lead now. 92 games played. 4-game lead after 113. Tied after 112. Anthony jumps into the lead and has a magic number now. Tied, 27 magic number. 1-game lead, 16 magic number. Tied, 9 magic number. 3-game lead, I think I won. Whoa. But let's take a look. Any rainouts? Holy cow, that was exciting. Wow. Back and forth till the very end there. All right, season 3. All right, I got all that saved. Let's go back to our league manager screen here and erase the stats for season 4. All right, so my team leads 3 games to 1. So we need Anthony or Steve to win this season to prolong the Sims. Here we go, season 5. All right, let's take a look at the early going here. My team with a very slim lead over Steve and Anthony, 26 games played. Still slim lead now, 3 over Steve, 9 over Anthony. But again, this can change dramatically in a heartbeat.
40 games in and 2 games over 500. I'm
There
cruising.
you go.
Oh, there we go.
It's 3.5, 5.5. 60 games in.
Oh,
7. Yep. It's that pitching.
the bottom fell out.
Yep. At this point, you might have already used Singrani's innings.
Yeah.
Opening it up a little bit again. This can still change, but 11.5 games is a good lead. 14 now with 114 games in. Anthony needs to make a run here. 17 now. Doesn't look like it will happen in this particular season. Magic number of 11. All right, we shall let it run out. And we have at least one rain out. All right, final tally for the deciding season 5. 102. Let me lock this. It simulated like 8 tests. I did like 8 test sims, and I didn't get 100 victories twice in any of them. It's just everything appeared to be clicking in this one. All right, let me save these stats and we'll take a look at them.
That was a good draft, Andy.
You know what, Steve? This is one where, well, you've heard that saying, it's better to be lucky than good, because I just honestly, this is not the team that I intended to create.
Yeah.
But you guys I kind of took a page out of your book, really. When you're forced into one direction, you just kind of lean into it.
Yeah.
You lean into it and see what happens.
Yep.
But I thought your strategy and Anthony's strategy was accurate. It's like, all right, the guy's already spent $100 on pitching. Let's let him spend some more.
Yeah. And again, just at that rate, like
Yeah.
I couldn't get a pitcher at $35. Like I just couldn't compete in that market.
Right. Right.
And as we went further down, it's for a 13, for an 11, for a 9. It's like it just let you have it and then just mop up what I got left.
Yep. I think what's interesting is that and it all depends on where you are in the auction, because you paid 21 for Singrani.
Yep.
Who was a 13W, which is really more probably like an 11.
Yeah.
Whereas Dixon is a solid grade 12, no W's.
Yep.
He went for 29 and he gave you another 100 innings.
Yeah.
But he went before. So now all of a sudden he's off the board. Now you're looking at the board and you're like, well, the only quality guy left is Singrani.
I had to get Singrani. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. All right. Let me save these and we'll look at the stats for this last season as well. All right. So here's our pitching again. Let's take a look. Sort by innings. Yeah, Tapani actually wasn't, again, he wasn't one of the guys I was targeting. It stopped at 39 and I was like, all right, I'll take it. So this is sort of by innings. So this is actually, I think, Anthony, we're after those top 3, that's where it gets a little dicey. So Worley gives you a 469. So he's not, awful, but he's not great either at 469. Nice job by Morris. And, like for me, Dixon, he wasn't in the starting rotation, but he still gave me 135 innings of quality pitching. And he did start, he was used in relief and he also as a fill-in starter. Singrani pitched well again. Willis again.
I'm surprised Willis had that low of an ERA.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Because he did get a bump with the Z and with the G, but still he starts out as a 15, so that's still overperforming. That's twice that we've seen that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so that covers the pitching side. And again, I'll put all five seasons together in an Excel spreadsheet like I usually do. Let's see. Quality hitting. Why do I keep doing that? Well, again, Kiner, you got your money's worth for Kiner. It's just it hampers you on the pitching side. Nice job by Votto, Chile, Mac. Thought I sorted that by OPS. Maybe I did. Yeah, so Kiner's second, actually, Mac against 80 games going against weak pitching allowed him to get an OPS over 1,000. Nice job by Votto. The platoon didn't seem to hurt him there at all. Bruce, the platoon didn't hurt him either. Puckett, actually below 800 for me. Castelli again with a good year. All right, that covers the qualitative. And then on the quantity side, there's Kiner again, only 2 off his real life total. Votto with a nice year. Davis, Mac hit 30 for me. Bruce, Westlake, so some of the same guys. And on the stolen base side, there's my man Shane Mack again, getting caught 20 times.
It's a lot.
I'm gonna do some research on some of the managers. There's got to be somebody with Buck Miller's
Acumen.
with Miller's good stuff, but without his propensity to do this. Because I think Miller tries to keep the attempts to a real life average, whether the percentage works or not. And obviously that doesn't work out well often. All right, so I got my money's worth on Hernandez that particular season.
Look at Cruz's stats. Three attempts.
Yeah.
Like,
so he wasn't really used as a pinch hitter at all.
At all.
Yeah. Pinch runner. Yeah.
Yep. At all.
Yeah. And for that matter, what about Hamilton?
Oh, good. I'll go back down. I was just looking for him.
Yep, there you go. 7.
He had eight attempts.
A little better. All right.
But he was $1, and he only had, like, I get it, but like, he had plate appearances. Cruz didn't have any impact at the plate at all.
Nope, not at all.
3 attempts. So like, I don't. Yeah.
And I definitely would have used him. I wonder if Billy Martin would have done anything for your team, considering.
I was considering that, and then it was the pitching that kind of scared me away. So, and I didn't have that much speed. If I had more speed, I would have done it.
Good point. Yeah, because it sounded like you were using Cruz as a starter. If you were using Cruz as a starter, maybe, and had somebody else that had speed.
Yeah.
All right.
I should have platooned him in, in the lineup as opposed to
Yeah.
just on the bench.
Yeah.
I learn.
It's, and I know we're going to sound like a broken record to whoever sees his videos, but it's just incredible how on every one of these, just different things happen that you don't expect.
Yep.
Let's see, on the hitting side, and actually in this last season, I think I might have had the best OPS.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, so best OPS and then best pitching is a recipe for victory, and even best defense in this particular one.
They were very close on defense. Oh, not the error standpoint,
Yeah,
but the fielding percentage was pretty
Yeah.
solid.
Yeah. So, all right. Let me stop sharing this. So yeah, guys, the thing with this one is just, again, I didn't end up with the team that I thought I was going to end up with, but you guys kind of forced my hand into a certain direction, and I just kind of went with it. All right, guys, I will get busy summarizing the 5 seasons and send it to you, so you might be able to glean something else from the stats that we haven't touched on. But as always, a big thank you. It was really challenging, and you guys made it really weird for me.
Good stuff.
Really, no, it was like, wow, what is going on here? I mean, I don't know if you guys could tell, but there were a couple of spots there where I was discombobulated. I was like, wait, what just happened?
Yeah, it was after both pictures. Yeah, for sure.
Right. It was like, okay, what do I do now? Let me just
Yeah.
reconfigure my numbers here. So anyway, it was fun. But all right. Well, thank you again. I will get busy with the numbers and send them out to you maybe even tonight, if not tomorrow.
Sounds good.
That's it. Thank you.
Thanks, Anthony.
Have a good one,
Thank
guys.
you. All right.
Take care.
Yeah, bye.